So let me share with you the consensus of what they want. I think some of these answers that came from the women that I surveyed will surprise you. They certainly did me. And I think some of these answers you're not going to like. I certainly didn't. In fact, the most dominant and consistent answer is the opposite of how I have been trying to orchestrate my life. And I'll admit, I'm still grappling with how to handle this. This answer is probably best given by my 94-year-old grandmother. I asked her a whole series of questions about what she was initially looking for in her ideal husband.
So his go-to source is his 94-year-old grandmother. So let's start with her.
And then what attracted her to my grandfather? And when did she know that she was in love with him?
By the way, this man's grandfather was a World War II fighter pilot. So his job was to fly around in a propeller plane shooting down the bad guys. So let's hear what his grandmother had to say about the grandfather and what she wanted.
And more. They were married for 67 years.
It's a long time.
And it would have been more, but my grandfather passed 7 years ago. There's not a time when I talk to my grandmother when she doesn't say, I miss your grandfather, and then recall some loving memory. I asked her, Grams, when did you feel most loved by your husband? Was it words of affirmation, quality time, touch, or intimacy?
By the way, the stuff he's talking about right now is like the love language narrative. I'm going to do a video dedicated to this topic because it's another piece that really sends guys in the wrong direction. I'm going to skip over that with this particular cast, but just listen up here to what he has to say.
Is it the gifts that he gave you, or flowers, or compliments? She interrupted me and said flatly, when he was mopping my floors.
All right. Let's pause for a second. When he was mopping my floors. All right. I did a survey here, and this was a few days ago. We got 7,100 results. Let me throw it up on the screen for you. The question was, women only, when is your man most sexy, attractive, and desirable to you? Men, if you want to see the results, click an option, then unselected. So if you ever see these surveys, do not take them if it's specifically for one gender. If you want to see the results, you can click and then just unclick it, and then your vote goes away. So number one was when he has a mop in his hand, cleaning the floors in the house. That was 11%. Now, my female audience is between the age of about 24 and 35, I think, is what the main categories. And after that is about 35 to 45. Very few are under the age or over the age. So that's going to be the bulk of it. And about 1 in 10 of my viewers are women, just so you get the idea. That's why you don't see too many votes in this. But I think 7,100 is plenty. So having a mop in his hand and cleaning the floors ranked at 11%. The second highest one was, or sorry, at the very bottom was when he's looking after the kids, which was 6%. So women don't want guys that are basically taking on traditionally feminine roles in the household. That's not important to them. Mopping the floors clearly at number 2 is the second least important thing to them. Number 3 was when I see others admire him for being on his purpose. We're getting a little warmer now. You see where we're going here? The fourth one is when he's doing traditionally masculine things like fixing or building. Again, another improvement in the direction that I talk about. And the last one was when other men want to be him and other women desire him. That was almost half of the votes were cast when women feel most attracted to a man or see him as most sexy, attractive, desirable when he's on his purpose, when he's putting a dent in the universe, and basically other guys want to be that guy and other women desire him and his attention, of course. So let's move on. Okay, so let's continue with when Graham says he was mopping the floors.
What? I said my grandmother can be very witty, so I assumed she was joking. She wasn't, not even a little bit. She said, that is when I knew he cared about me, about our home, and about our family, and was being a man and pitching in.
So skip over the fact that this guy was a badass in the war, shooting down bad guys. Skip over the facts that he provided a house and fathered children. Skip over the fact that he was the protector and the provider in the household. She's saying, and this is why you can't listen to what women say when it comes to advice on the sexual marketplace or what they're actually attracted to. You always have to watch their behavior. She's saying that a mop in the hand was what she wanted the most or would turn her on the most.
Still unsatisfied with this answer, I continued to question, but what does mopping floors have to do with love and intimacy and being a heroic man? Everything, she said flatly.
Here we go.
And began to explain. She said, running a household is a lot of work. It's unglamorous and it's tedious work that never ends. It's work no one likes to do. It's uncelebrated and it's taken for granted. There are no applause for a clean toilet or fresh sheets on the bed. And all of it falls on mama's shoulders. Your grandfather, she continued, was never sexier than when he had a mop in his hand and was scrubbing my floors.
Bullshit. Did you guys see the survey that I just took? These are the words of a postmenopausal, well past postmenopausal, 94-year-old woman who's completely forgotten about arousal, attraction, desire, and the main things that are the drivers in a relationship. And she's telling her grandson, you should mop the floors in the house. This is what will get you the girls. This is what will keep you the girls, is mopping the floors in the house. This completely invalidates all advice that this guy's grandmother gave. In fact, anything that's remotely associated with something that's tied into chore play is something that you have to discard. The whole coining of the chore play phrase basically is you're exchanging chores in return for intimacy. Could be love, could be sexual intimacy, could be any number of things. But that's what they're trying to sell you guys here with this course. This is a free course that's encouraging you to pick up mops, empty the dishwasher, do all those chores around the house, fold laundry, all that stuff. And guess what, guys? That doesn't work. That is the process of betatization through 1,000 concessions. You're being sold the process of betatization through 1,000 concessions. And this is what ends most guys in divorce court and what causes about 80% of women, because divorces we know are initiated primarily by women. It's about 8 out of 10 times. This is what is leading up to something like this. And any guy that's been through the divorce grinder that looks back on when his woman was actually aroused and attracted to him versus when she wasn't knows full well. And I want to hear your comments below, guys. You know, spill the beans, knows full well that women are not attracted to you when you're doing chore play and you're not getting genuine, enthusiastic desire from her. It's more or less negotiated compliance, which nobody wants because it always leads to resentment.